Hey, what's up guys? It's Whale Tits, or Hiki Jones as some of you may recognize my forum name. Though I'm looking to get that changed to Whale Tits, of course. Anyways, I was just trolling the forums and it seems a lot of people are complaining about weak-ass 6.0 Zeratul. I won't name any names, but it's pretty obvious. Well, I thought to myself, hey, isn't that the hero I've been trying to convince Brack and Echo is perhaps the strongest in the game and borderline OP? My ult's almost up. Maru gets sniped, so I'm going to jump in on him, focus him down. I notice Eternity is very low, so I'm just going to run around, position myself better. I notice he's making his way out. I'm going to use Face Cloak for that move speed boost, and then Planer to catch up to him and jump in on him. I know now that Fanny is somewhere in here with fairly low health because he didn't die. So I check for a rune. There is one. I get it. I see there's two of them in there. I know I have my ult. I'm going to melt Fanny. WW is stuck there now. Basically, that was the dumbest thing ever. Anyways, I see them coming. I come around from behind them. I planar Roy I ult Roy to kill him. I planar WW to get him back. And then I get a leader kill. Yeah. So that's one way to play Zeratul AP. Let's start with talents, as it is usually the first thing most players look at when they join a game. For all heroes, I like to run this 0, 11, 14 talent build. I think it's the best build for any and all heroes and is borderline overpowered. Why? Let's take a look at what it offers us. What I consider are the most important talents are the defensive Fortitude 180 health, which adds anywhere from 20 to 33% to your starting health, and allows you to trade blows in lane, it allows you to tank more, it allows you to sustain longer in lane, and Avarice, which allows you to get into lane with a 650 item such as Durin's Machete, and a 100 mineral teleport, which will allow you to get back into your pool, regen all your health, buy items, and get back in lane without missing any experience. Between these two talents, I constructed this talent build. I also looked at Swiftness, Savvy, Protect, and Shrivel, which now offers 5 seconds of basically win. But I came to the conclusion that this offered the best build. The 5% move speed talent offers you great mobility on top of your already fast move speed as a Zeratul, and will allow you to position yourself in such manners that you can get kills and get out of the fight immediately. The 3 points in Steady Mind that I take over Brainstorm allow you 60 more health at the start, as well as more damage, more armor, more health regen, and a fair amount of energy regen, though not quite as much as this, obviously. But in the long run, I feel that Steady Mind offers more than just energy. I avoid Commitment because I find that this talent is most useful if you're dying a lot. Obviously, the more you die, the more time you're not spent dead, because, well, it just reduces the respawn timer. However, if you're dying a lot, you've already lost. So I find it utterly useless. It doesn't help you get kills, it doesn't help you survive longer, it doesn't help you move around the map faster. Of course, Savvy is quite self-explanatory. It allows you to snowball a bit in the fights. If you can kill one hero, you'll often find that you have just enough health, just enough energy to kill the next hero, and so on and so forth. And in the course of a team fight, you'll probably get at least 3 kills/assists, which means that you just added 30% to your health and energy. I avoid Reconnaissance because I find it's a support skill, and while it'd be nice to have, I can generally rely on an ally to scan for me or to scout for me. I avoid Defensive Matrix because, again, I consider it a support skill. It would be nice with maybe a planar and ult into a tower, which I'll go over later, but I think it's rather gimmicky and it's also rather new, so I don't think it outweighs Vitalize yet. Protect and Shrivel are much more tempting, but I didn't think it was worth it to build into offense, because the little bit of extra damage I can get from building an offense is greatly outweighed by the extra sustainability I can have in defense utility that will let me lane longer, it'll let me get last hits better, it'll let me get early hero kills just because I can trade blows better. And in late game as well, it'll allow me to live long enough to deal more damage than I could burst out with building offense. Protect was also tempting, like I said, but it would require an extra point in defense, and I don't know. I might move one of these points. I'd have to move a savvy point over, and I think that 5% health and energy it's just a little bit more worth it, because again, protect also will replace my energize, which allows me to basically spam my skills with impunity in laning. Vitalize, of course, is always great for baiting with planar and ult, and overall being less squishy, and you can heal your teammates as well. So that's why I consider it the best F talent. Basically, in summary, my talent build offers me strong early game, it offers me strong lane sustain, it lets me get farmed, and of course to me, a strong early game, though I'm sacrificing some late game damage, a strong early game means that I can get to late game faster while shutting down my opponents. Now let's take a look at his skills and his role in the game. We'll start with his passive, obviously. I'm reading in the forums that people are complaining that it's useless or that it's not good, and I think that's completely false. I think it's one of his stronger skills, and that's of course between planar, his ult, and his passive. It basically means that in lane you're cloaked until you want to not be. You can go in and harass whenever you want and get out and then cloak again, and basically you dictate the combat to your favor. If it's unfavorable for you, you can just chill around, get experience, try to get some last hits. If it's favorable to you, you're a constant threat. They never know when you're going to hit them, and they can never counter that. I'm going to pause this right now because I'm getting into laning already. All his skills, of course, revolve around his auto attack damage, his Q being purely auto attack, his unfolding, again, scaling with agility, which is his source of damage, and his planar, which doesn't do any damage, but it allows him to do more damage, essentially, as well as his ult, which just allow him to do more damage. He is a very positioning-based hero. Of course, this reinforces why I ran with that talent build where I had vision and move speed. And as you can see here, he relies on being behind enemies to do extra damage. He can use planar to position better. He can use his ult, but it's only good if he positions himself correctly, so that he catches enemy heroes in it. It's the largest AoE disable in the game, but it affects your teammates. He's pretty damn squishy though. You notice I start with this much health. I don't know if I already went over that. I feel like an idiot. Anyways, he's pretty damn squishy, and at level 18 he has, what, 1400 health, compared to, say, this Boros over here, who would have, where is he? Whatever. Boros has 1500 health. I think Boros already moved the lane. Boros has 1580 health, actually. And, say, Drake, who has 2200 health, which is essentially 150% more health than Zeratul does, at level 18 without items or talents. And the only way he can make up for how squishy he is, again, by his positioning. If he has better positioning, if he gets in, gets out, does what he needs to do, kills the enemy's carry in his bubble, and then gets out of the fight, and then jumps back in, and then jumps out. That's essentially his role. Okay. In laning, I play cautiously, as you are rather squishy and you are melee. You should get last hits and denies if you can, but don't engage in sustained combat. Despite your extra health from your talents, your passive and burst Q allow you to harass when and where you want, but you're still pretty squishy. So take advantage of your, basically, your ability to dictate when combat happens, and poke in, back out, cloak, poke in again. However, as you noticed here, I took planar first, and I consider that it's a one-hit skill, basically a one-hit wonder. He needs 1 point in it. Take a note here that the Grunty has only 645 health, despite starting with the Derp machete, which is what I started, and I have 900 health, and he's strength and I'm not. Sorry on that tangent. Right, the most important skill in laning is, of course, your planar void. I think you'll see me use it here, I'm not entirely sure. No, I'm not going to use it yet. But you can use it to seriously mess up your opponent's positioning. You can use it to, in laning essentially, you can use it to pull him into the tower and take some tower hits, which is fairly common because usually if you're playing passively with your cloak, just chilling in the back, your opponent will tend to play rather aggressively. He'll push the lane, he'll try to zone you, pretty much that. For this reason alone, I like to lane Zeratul in either mid or the strong lane, so top for Zerg or bottom for Protoss, because that lane, the creep wave, is much closer to the tower than the other tower, much closer to your tower. I know at level 4 in this game I get first blood, so we'll speed that up a little and you'll see how I do that. Right, so as you can see, I'm taking quite a bit of damage early game, just because I don't have range and the shotgun is AoE. But he's going to start getting a little too cocky here. Maybe this way for the next one. I remember which one. Yeah, watch this. He gets a little cocky here, comes into my tower. I'm going to get some hits off on him. I'm going to jump in on him. He's already at half health. I planer him back in the tower. And here's first blood. Despite his whole wave aggroing me, if I hadn't had that extra health, I would have died there because he was wave aggro. But because I didn't even have to use Vitalize in that stance. In that circumstance, I got first blood, and I'm looking at my minerals. I have almost 1,000, which is good because I can teleport back, I can buy another machete and get back in the lane, which I'll probably do very shortly. After this way. Yep. And that's why I lane Zeratul mid and top, or strong lane I mean. And he's very strong in lane because of that constant threat. Here's another example of how you can use planer to harass him in. I see he's low, I jump on him, I'm going to planer him back, and I can see he vitalized, I force the vitalize, and he's going to get out. He lost quite a bit of health when he vitalized his lane. Let's take this time to talk item build now. As you can see, I like to start with double machete, and then I work on my my agi boots. Actually, in this game I lost a bit pretty hard to Living Strong's Grunty, which wasn't so good. But after going for my boots, I will usually go for a Phase Cloak, just because of the damage it offers. Phase Cloak offering 24 agility, 35 weapon damage, and of course its active gives you 10% move speed and a 20 weapon damage buff for a few seconds. All in all, it adds essentially 67 weapon damage, which is, for its cost, amazing. As you see, I can use planer to get back lane faster. I'm building my planer. I'm building my Phase Cloak. In games that I'm doing poorly, like this one, I will often go for Phase Cloak before finishing my boots, just because of the huge weapon damage will allow me to compete with more fed heroes. I like to follow Phase Cloak with a Valor's Manifest. You'll see me get that later. Just because, again, while it's a snowball item, it requires 40 stacks for it to really be worth it. It is the highest agility, highest weapon damage item in the game, and it gives me health. I don't find getting stacks to be that big of an issue. I can last hit fairly easily, and I can have at least 20 stacks before I really fight anyone. See, I got Phase Cloak here before anything. After getting a Valor's Manifest, I tend to go for a Zerg Symbiosis just for the little bit of lifesteal it offers. And then from there, it's a toss-up between getting a Collie Blade, which is the 70 attack damage, 20% crit, 25% crit damage item. And I disregard the recommended items. I don't know who made those. It's between getting a Collie Blade, which will increase my damage, or getting a Darwin's Might, which will give me more lifesteal and more health, and allow me to win. And a Force of Entropy, which also gives me more health, gives me damage, and as I'm melee, I can take advantage of the lightning procs on it. Essentially, I want all three of those, or at least two of those three. Another good item to consider on Zeratul is Black Hole Magnum. Black Hole Magnum, which will proc with your attack on your Q, will basically give you a huge amount of burst damage on your Q. Your Q will start doing 600-700 damage with that. As you notice here, I bubble 3 of them and none of my teammates. And we try to focus down their grunty, or at least I do, because he's obviously their main DPS. I constantly spamming phase close because the cooldown is so short. I'm going to go in on Eternity. He's going to get out though, just because he's going to jump out. So I'm going to go for Fumbles instead. This Kerrigan doesn't have nearly the escape mechanism that I do, or that Eternity does. Switch on him just because I can. Constantly using planar, constantly pulling their carry out of position is another good strategy to do. Knowing when to back off is also amazing. And having yesterday is also amazing because you can bolo like no other. At this point we notice the tower is really low, so we're just going to kill it. And then counter engage, and then engage on them again. Sorry, Brax. Notice that I spend quite a bit of the fight just running around, and finally I see a good moment to land my ult off. There are 4 of them in it. And then I go for the kill. See how much I healed there from Savvy. It's ridiculous. Of course, let's take a moment to look at my item build versus, say, their grunties, who's their DPS. I have a Phase Cloak and a Valor's with full stacks, and I'm doing 300 damage in auto attack. Of course, I bought Strength Potion. Potions are actually really good in this game. They last 10 minutes, and they offer a very huge bonus for how much they cost. Anyways, I'm sitting at 300 damage, 2,000 health, 40 armor, and basically near max attack speed. And we'll look at Living Strong, who beat me in mid, but he has half of my damage, less health than me, less armor than me. He's attacking faster than me, but he does so much less it doesn't even matter. He went for a Black Hole Magnum, so that procs on his shotgun. It's a little buggy, but it does proc on a shotgun. But otherwise, he just, if he can stand there and shotgun, he'll do more damage than me, but he's not going to have that chance because I'm going to displace him, I'm going to ult him, I'm going to jump on him, everything. I'm going to slow this down here, just point this out. This is essentially the reason I'm making this video. Is Brax was telling me that we're getting all these complaints about Boros, who's yesterday. Where is he? Somewhere around here. And Zeratul, who are the UP, and of course we're face rolling them right now. It's 11:20, and despite losing my lane, I'm doing so much damage that I'm getting lots of kills. Notice what happens in this fight here. I've slowed it down just so you can see. We are making a mistake here by engaging without vision, but I'm going to come in and bubble. I didn't quite catch Kerrigan. I thought I could kill maybe Eternity. I realize I'm wrong, and I'm going to planar myself out of there and escape just barely with my life. Now this is a fairly exemplary fight of positioning, showing you how positioning is important in this game with Zeratul. Hanging around the fight, I'm going to farm if I can. I'm not going to engage without us, especially without me. Now we're going to go in, right? Throwing the Drake, not usually the best idea, but it brings everyone in. I see both of their ADs. I come around the back, I bubble both of them. I'm going to kill Grunty in my ult, and then essentially they can't do anything. They lost all their damage. I planar him back, he can't escape from me. Except for that damn jumping shit. At this point I believe I was going for a Black Hole Magnum. I planar fumbles into all of us, if you notice that.
Don't write me off.
And I notice Bottom's in trouble, so I'm going to put there as fast as I can. He's surrounded there. He's just barely getting away. He's about to get jumped on. I can use planar to get him out of there. He would have been trapped by Balrog and Stevie, but instead he gets out. Again, I noticed that there's a sniper there. They seem to be grouping up mid. All 3 of them are here all of a sudden because of my planar. They're all out of position. I'm going to kill one of them. He's shotgunning me back, but I'm going to jump on him, which is going to get me a kill. Eternity tries to do his stun Molo combo, but I'm going to jump and dodge it. Again, I'm looking at my mini-map here. I see there's a lot of people mid. I'm going to port there as fast as I can. Get in there. See, they're all grouped up once again. And I'm just going to drop the bubble on them. And my team is outside the bubble. Ranged. They're all just shooting into it. And yeah, that's how you use his ult, essentially. That's how to win with Zeratul. Positioning. Let me just take a look at this. Final score 25-24. No one can say I'm KSing because I've got that many assists. Damage out. Absurd. Damage in quite a bit because they're focusing me, but they can't kill me.